Hello and welcome to Engage, the program that focuses on community engaged research, learning, and service. I'm your host, Megan Franks, and today I'm joined by Carmen Wilder, the Interim Associate Director for the Day One Leadership Program, and Aressa Cooley, the Graduate Service Assistant for the Day One Leadership Program. Hello and welcome to Engaged.
Thanks,
Hi,
Megan.
thank you.
So starting off, I'd like to know a little bit more about both of you, starting with you, Carmen, how you came to Mississippi State and your position now with the Day One program.
Well, thanks, Megan. Well, I came to our student leadership programs and started working with the Day One program in fall of 2008, just 3 weeks before school started. And my background before coming to the student leadership programs is actually in counseling. Okay. And so when we work with our students and helping them develop, I find a lot of transferable skills, but it is of course a different job. And throughout time, I've always enjoyed getting involved in the community and service and developing those things. So it seemed like really just a natural fit of things that I was passionate about.
Fantastic. And you've been with the program how long now?
10 years, just over 10 years.
Wow, great. And Aressa, how about you?
I am brand new to the Day One program. I just started this summer, so we're wrapping up my first fall with Day One.
Okay.
Before coming into this position, I was working in education policy research,
Okay.
but I had teaching experience before while I was going through and getting my master's, and I was really looking for an opportunity where I could get more involved with students.
Yeah.
And so this program just seemed like a perfect fit.
And so what is your day-to-day as a graduate service assistant? What is your role with Day One?
So my primary role focuses with coordinating with the community service partners that we work with the Day One program. We currently work with about 30 community service partners that work with our students for the semester. And so I work with the community partners to make sure that their weekly service needs are met. And I kind of serve more as a facilitator between the community partners and the students.
Fantastic. So talk to me a little bit more about Day One and what the program is like and the history behind it, I guess being it's a 10-year partnership.
Right, yeah. So Day One started out, let's see, when I started with the program, that was their second class, and so their first class started in 2007. And it was actually a co-creation among two business faculty members, Dr. Melissa Moore and Dr. Allison Pearson, and then a psychology faculty member, Dr. Tom Carskadden. And our former director, Dr. Cade Smith. And so together they actually put the program together. And when they first did the program, it always had a forum class. So once a week our students go to a forum lecture where they learn about different leadership skills and strategies and the social change model of leadership development. They have a lot of guest speakers from industries and different areas, even former students who come and talk about different aspects of leadership and their experience with it. So it always had a forum class, but when it first started, it wasn't as structured. So now in the program, our students have a very structured Monday and Wednesday class where they meet with peer mentors and volunteer faculty and staff members who help guide them through different leadership activities and help guide them through the creation and implementation of their community service project.
And so each of the Day One's teams has a community service project?
Yes,
okay, so
that's right.
Talk to me a little about how that works.
Right. So Aressa mentioned we work this semester with about 30 different community agencies. We actually have 36 teams. And so some of those agencies have multiple teams assigned with their agency. And so Aressa's worked throughout the summer to make those decisions about how many students will be assigned with each agency. And of course it depends on the agency's ability to provide meaningful service that actually need assistance in different areas that the students can be involved in. And so in them working with their projects and working with their teams, we're looking for agencies who want students to get involved so that they can understand about an aspect of the community or needs in the community. So they take time to get to know the agency, do weekly service at the agency, and then really understand what are the needs with this agency and how does that fit into the larger context of the needs of our community. And then actually create a project that will meet one of these needs at the agency.
That's fantastic. So Can you talk to me about the different agencies that you're partnering with right now?
So we work with all kinds of community partners in the Golden Triangle area.
Okay.
Most of them are based in Starkville, but we work with partners that focus on working with animals. We work with several animal shelters, as well as with different agencies that offer horseback riding. We also work with agencies like the Salvation Army, different outdoor groups like Camp Seminole, the Noxubee Wildlife Refuge, as well as after-school tutoring programs like the Boys and Girls Club or Miss Educational Services. And we also we have a lot of in-school partners. So we partner with a number of the elementary schools and middle schools that are in the Starkville area. So it pretty much runs the gamut with the types of partners that we work with, which is really ideal because we have on average 200 students. And so it's important to match our students with community partners where they have an interest in whatever that agency is doing. So it really helps us to have a diverse range of service partners because it pretty much guarantees that each student is placed on a team where they see interest and value in what that partner is doing.
That's fantastic. So you have 220 or so students, and they're all freshmen, right? And so you place them in teams, so like 5 to 7 students
Yes.
And then they all have an agency that they're
That's
working
correct.
with
Yes.
to develop a project, like a capstone project with that agency. And so what are some examples of projects that those students would complete?
This semester? in
Yeah,
the past?
so I saw something recently,
Yeah.
like a group had done a fundraiser for the Humane Society.
That's right.
Quite
Yeah.
a bit. So just examples.
Yeah.
How?
So
you can go first.
Okay, sure. So it varies. Some of our students actually put on an event, like one big fundraising event, or I think this Friday, for example, one of our teams with Community Gardens is hosting their Fall Harvest Festival. So they'll be bringing up members of the community to play different games and to just enjoy the garden. And then some of our teams, like one of our teams works with Overstreet, and what they've decided to do is instead of holding an event, they're leaving something behind with their community partner. They've decided to build these buddy benches. One of the needs that they identified with that partner was that there are all kinds of students and volunteers that come into the school, but there's limited space. And so the students were thinking, well, instead of trying to find another space, why don't we create these benches that can have a dual purpose of being seating as well as being storage area for the students. So they've very creatively went out and bought buckets, decorated them, had the students personalize them. And when they're not in use, students can store their belongings or any other classroom materials under the buckets. And then when volunteers come, they can use those as extra chairs instead of needing to pull students out of their classroom and go to a different area. So there's some projects like that. Another project with one of our partners, Miss Smith's Educational Services, they had like a fall field day with their students, which was awesome. All the students loved it. Our Day 1 students volunteer there weekly and help with different tutoring activities, and they really just wanted to do something fun for the students, and so they just had a big fun day.
That's great. And so you have students serving these agencies week after week, and then planning their project within their teams. They're not going at it alone. So there's layers and layers of partnerships and mentoring. So explain a little bit more about how that works.
So excuse me. There's, like you said, Megan, there's layers of mentors and within it the partnerships. So as Aressa was talking about our community agencies, we in the Day 1 leadership program, it's so important that our agencies are actually co-educators in the process of helping students learn about not only community service and the needs as a community, but an active community leader, someone who understands needs in the community and can really be empowered and find the skills to figure out what can I do about that. So our agencies are co-educators in that process and working with their group and guiding them in their community service each week, giving them feedback about their project. And then also we have this year we have 32 volunteer faculty and staff members. So any faculty or staff member on campus who wants to get involved with working with a group of college freshmen, they can sign up with us during the spring is when we do our recruitment for faculty mentors. And then during the fall, that person meets with their team in class once a week and helps the team, guides them as they create their project, goes over different leadership activities with them. And then in addition to that, they're their main area of reflection in a formal sense. So the students submit online reflections every week, and the mentor is the one that assigns those reflections and grades those reflections. And that's really important because actually writing down thoughts and thinking about it helps students develop the critical reflection skills that they need to process through their own changes as a leader and then process through needs in the community. And then finally, as part of the curriculum of one of our other leadership programs called the Montgomery Leadership Program, we have juniors and seniors who are part of that program, and we have 40 of those students each year. We have 40 of those students this fall, and so those students are each matched to a team, and those Montgomery Leadership Fellows meet with their team twice a week. They meet with them once a week by themselves as a small group, and then another time a week with the faculty mentor, so them together. So that gives those students multiple opportunities to lead a group by themselves, to lead a group with a colleague, their faculty or staff mentor, and they will also do the same things of guiding them through their project, helping them working alongside with them with community service. And so what we are is we've created for them an actual team, like they would anywhere in life, have an actual team they have to work with and work through challenges and make decisions and think critically about things and have fun together, cry together, whatever they need to do. And then actually have team leaders who are there to support them and encourage them and keep them on track.
Yeah, that's great. So leadership and service, they run together. So tell me why you include leadership and service together in the Day One Leadership Program.
Yeah, well, I would say, and loved it, Aressa's a new part of our staff too, but I would say for us, the reason in the beginning that we included service with leadership was twofold, and I was about to say the Montgomery Leadership Program, true for them too, but for the Day One Leadership Program, is because one, having an experiential learning part of a leadership program is a way that they can practice the skills. So that's the first part. That service is that jumping off point for them to practice the things that they're learning in class with their mentor and their fellow, practice things that they're here and learn about in Friday Forum class. So that's the first part. They're actually getting to practice these leadership skills and strategies that they're learning. The second piece is that we wholeheartedly believe that when you're looking at leadership development, that being a part of the community is critical to that.
Yeah, fantastic. Sounds like a great program.
Yeah, and actually something that Carmen mentioned is really one of my favorite things about this program. Learning about leadership and then being able to practice it.
Great, that's great. Well, thank you all for coming out today.
Yeah.
We hope that you join us on future sessions of Engaged, and until then, go forth, serve others, and make a difference in your local community. Thank you.